So I want to show you what the establishment is doing, because to me, what the establishment is doing, and when I say establishment, I mean Morning Joe, Jake Tapper, former people that worked with Joe Biden coming on cable news. I'm sure there's articles I'm missing that are defending Joe Biden. This is not as much about Me Too as it is about powerful interests defending a fellow powerful, corrupt plutocrat like Joe Biden. And he is corrupt. The media could try to paint him as however they want. Middle class Joe, Uncle Joe. No. He's another bought off politician. He's a warmonger. And that's the police coming for him. No, I kid. So I had a problem. I had problems sleeping last night. So I was up, and I like to torture myself. So I put on Morning Joe, and I just could not believe this statement by Mika Brzezinski of Morning Joe, a.k.a. Joe Scarborough's wife.
But are we allowed to bring up that Lucy Flores is a huge Bernie person, and she has, political connections that might be counter to Biden's goals, and that this could be, hold on, is it okay to bring up this could be politically motivated, or are we just supposed to take all the words and the fact that she says she was violated at face value? Are we supposed to just leave it there?
Well,
and have this sort of attack on his credibility and his honor just sit there? Or are we allowed to talk about it?
Well,
are we allowed to the man?
You can bring it up, Mika, if you want your Twitter feed to look like your Twitter feed's going to look today. But it seems to me that, again,
So
yes.
we're not.
Well, no, you just did. And what I'm saying is that, the conversation has to be had. It has to be an open conversation. And as you've been saying, and as other people have been saying, the argument, all women must be believed, period. That's the end of the conversation. That was the argument 6 months ago. That was the argument when Al Franken was run out of town, run out of Washington, D.C., when what Donald Trump has done is so much more abhorrent. That conversation seems to have been moving along. And I suppose I'm not allowed to say this because I'm a male. But just as an observer, that conversation has moved along too. Women need to be believed. Women need to be heard. But there has to be due process out there. And you got to hear both sides. And what I heard this past weekend was, after the initial rush of stories, is all women should be believed. All women should be heard. But then all men should be heard. There has to be due process. There has to be some balance. But I will tell you where there's no balance. If you take a man who's committed his entire lifetime to the Democratic Party, and then you say that he is a racist and he is a misogynist and that he is the Democrats' answer to Donald Trump, that's just deeply offensive. And that's just wrong. And that's a wonderful way to help reelect Donald Trump.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I could do 3 hours just on that one clip. And remember, press the like button. First of all, Mika Brzezinski should maybe do a little research. I'll give this to Jake Tapper. He did. Lucy Flores has not come out and endorsed Bernie Sanders this go around. She did in 2016. But when she says she's a huge Bernie fan, that's just not true. She hasn't endorsed Bernie. She hasn't endorsed anyone. She actually was just at a Beto O'Rourke event the other day. So tying, could this be like, they're not even subtly, they're insinuating that this is like an operation by Bernie Sanders' campaign through Lucy Flores to take Biden out. That is completely reckless to suggest. She supported Bernie Sanders in 2016. She's on record not supporting anyone yet in 2020. So that's first. Secondly, I love it that Mika Brzezinski has this, I don't know much about it, but she has this program for NBC called Know Your Value, focused on women, specifically in the workplace, knowing how to negotiate for a higher salary, knowing when to walk away, knowing basically how to not let men get away with treating you differently in the workplace, both economically, but it's really about, what you earn for a living, because she was public about being paid way less than her counterpart Joe Scarborough at MSNBC. So I love how she's a feminist economically, and she's, equal rights in the workplace, which is totally agree with. But on this, her first inclination is, well, can we look to her motive? Let's not know her. We shouldn't know your value. Don't worry about knowing your value, women. If it's Joe Biden you're accusing, I don't know if she'd have the same tune if this were Bernie Sanders or anyone progressive. But since it's Joe Biden, who later in the clip they both acknowledge they're friends with, they've known for many years, because they're all part of the one big club. George Carlin said it best. It's a big club and you ain't in it. And you're not invited. Or whatever he said. I'm paraphrasing. So, fact number one, she's not supporting Bernie Sanders right now. She's probably going to support Beto O'Rourke or Kamala Harris, if best guess. Number two, according to Lucy Flores, she did not speak with Bernie's campaign before doing this, or any campaign. So, unless they have proof otherwise to suggest, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to kind of create a narrative, because the corporate media is just that. It's corporate propaganda, and they're trying to create a narrative to take away the stain of this woman coming out and saying, you know what, this man, the vice president of the United States that I barely knew, was coming up behind me, kissing me, smelling me, and touching me. And basically trying to say, well, what's her motives? Secondly, I'll be honest with you. And obviously my situation was far different. There was no photos, videos, whatever. I do think the hashtag #MeToo movement, I think it's a great thing. I mean, I have female friends that have been assaulted. And when they talk about it, it's very clear to see that it happened and it's genuine. Just the pain in their face and the way they shake reliving it. So I think Me Too is a great thing. I think sometimes, in some cases, it became conflated, where Me Too, which originally really started out about sexual assault, rampant sexual harassment, kind of got conflated, and people were starting to say hashtag Me Too, over regretting certain intimate reactions, or I knew somebody who was in a relationship with somebody at work. It was somebody over her, and it ended, and all of a sudden she says to me, sometimes I didn't want to have sex, but whatever, I wasn't in the mood, but I just did it because he wanted to. And I said, well, be careful how you phrase that, because, people are mind readers. If you never said you didn't want to, how would anyone know? So I think that it's not a black or white situation. I think if a woman comes out, we should hear her out. By the way, men also have come out during Me Too, saying they've been accosted by other men. So if a woman or a man comes out, let's hear them out. But I think people are starting to realize, like any other news story, you need to verify facts, which we have seen not happen in a lot of other news stories talking about Russiagate and other things lately. So I feel, as somebody who was unfortunately on the receiving end of this for something that was false, I am even more cautious, where I think we need to hear all the facts, gather the evidence that's available, context, and then make up our minds. Not have, a mad rush and an internet posse declaring people guilty. But in this instance, Joe Biden has not denied this happened. And Joe Biden and his campaign know that there's a whole lot of other photos out there of him smelling hair, kissing girls, and even young girls. So I think, they're probably expecting other things to come out and are basically trying to frame it in a narrative that, well, that's just how I express myself. Nobody ever said anything to me that made them uncomfortable. I never meant anything by it. And that's going to be the blanket statement for other women that come forward. The problem is, it wasn't okay before Me Too. It's just that as a society, men didn't know that behavior is not okay. And, full disclosure, I've worked in the media I started in 2006. I've probably said things in the workplace that are not appropriate. I think most men have, to tell you the truth. Nothing. I don't think I've ever said anything sinister, but sometimes you're talking to other men in the newsroom and you're saying things and you're not even thinking, oh, this is inappropriate to say. Or even conversations I've probably had with female coworkers who I was friends with. I probably said things that were inappropriate. So I think this is a time where men have to realize, wow, things that we never even realized were not appropriate or going too far or might make somebody uncomfortable. This is a good thing that we need to start looking inward and realizing this. But I could tell you what, I was smart enough to know you don't like smell women's hair. You know, you don't like go from behind and kiss women behind that you barely know. Like that's strange. That's inappropriate. And you have to be smart enough to know that. So, you know, Mika Brzezinski sitting here saying, oh, you know, and Joe Scarborough, oh, you're attacking his honor. His honor. No, they're talking about his behavior in the context of invading women's space and not being aware of personal boundaries. His honor honestly went to hell with the Iraq War, NAFTA, drafting the crime bill, welfare reform, deregulation, Glass-Steagall repeal, what else? The bankruptcy bill. I mean, that's where the honor went. You know, basically being a walking, talking servant to the big banks, fossil fuel companies, big pharma, you know, telecom. Joe Biden's honor went out the door. Joe Biden is an exercise in branding. He's not middle-class Joe. He's for the rich and the special interests. And I love, like, you know, Joe Biden painting him as racist. No. The racist painting was the crime bill, which as recently as 2016, he said he doesn't regret. So now that he's running, he's made some statements that he you know, might have done some things, blah, 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 blah. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statusquo.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statusquo.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.